Hello, everyone. This is Amazing Scale Modelers Across the Pond Hangout. I'm your host, Scratch and Jack. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus and a Facebook community of scale modelers, reaching across all scale modeling genres, mediums, and to encourage friendships from around the world. And today we hope you'll find it to be an important source of information about the hobby, hear about something new, and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. Joining me today are my usual suspect to help me kill this time and doing all these other things. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open at the YouTube channel. And I'm just telling you, people who watch as reruns, that you can join us during live and chat, because you can bring your questions, comments. Everybody is welcome. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, make comments, make suggestions. Thumbs up, thumbs down, either way, it's okay by me. But first, I'd like to talk some more about the communities, both on Facebook and Google Plus. We're over 4 years old now, and we're going on 5. We've been doing this for a long time, I feel, and we're getting just stronger and stronger. And I think we got a better understanding of the hobby. I think we all grew up. I can say that myself. I grew up in the hobby a little bit. And first, I'd like to not take my clothes off, but I just want to show you my latest T-shirt.
Oh, it's a Whovian.
Really yes, it's Doctor Who and the call box, but it looks kind of cool. And I don't want to give a shameless plug, but it's one of the bigger retailers that Baba knows too well. This is where I get my T-shirts. I don't want to give them a shameless advertisement, but maybe he'll advertise for his employer. Anyway, long and short of it, we have some community builds going on right now till the end of the year. And I think this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to announce this, because we're running out of time this year. We're going to start new community builds in January, which is about 2 months away. Christmas is less than 2 months away. And those community builds would be the Batman build that started in January. And there was also, I think, out of your comfort zone too, but it turned into the Batman build over that Facebook. You don't forget, you can do a what-if scratch build. And of course, we also have the Stunt and Speed. This is typically vehicles or something that has known for being fast, or known being doing stunts or setting records or whatever. I did the Spirit of St. Louis, the first transoceanic, transatlantic flight. And a lot of people have done cars. You can also do those cars that you see at the summer festivals or the cruises during the summer. That would be street muscle and custom cars. You can do a build like that completely out of the box. And lastly, of course, Star Wars, the new chapter is being released on the 15th of December, and we're all in a hurry to get it done. I know I am. And the Star Wars build would be inclusive of other things. It's not strictly out of the box. We encourage you to get into other skills, such as scratch building, such as opening your wallet and getting aftermarket parts, photo etch, and even lighting, sound, animation, whatever, something more. Maybe even a diorama of a scene. Of course, I see Dave trying to come into the Hangout.
Yeah, I think he's having trouble.
Yeah, well, yeah, it looks like that. But those are the kinds of things that we're doing, and currently we're doing the Halloween, just getting some recognition for Halloween, and I'd like to screen share the Facebook community cover. I'm going to share more screen shares later of others, because I'm going to change these out every 2 days or so. And right now I have here Derek Sobra. I think he's from Montreal, Canada, but I know he's Canadian. And this is his, well, you know what it is. This is Grandpa and Herman and their dungeon laboratory. And this is a pretty, I guess, a popular diorama. And I just love this photographic quality here, and his skill. A lot of good skill gone into it.
The cobwebs are excellent.
Yeah, he's got cobwebs. Let's see if I can. I can zoom in on those.
Either that, or he doesn't dust his models like me. I get those, but they're natural.
You just let it sit around a while. And also, okay, got that. Present to everyone. Yeah, I think that works. And also, let's close this up. Let's see.
Ooh, that's scary.
I know. I know. On the Google Plus community, we have the Harbinger of Death. This is the Lee Chambers figure. So this is all in.
Ooh, that's a nasty looking fella.
Yeah, he certainly is. Harbinger of Death. To me, he looks like Kronos. Or at least a Judeo-Christian interpretation of Kronos. Holding the hourglass, the sickle, and of course the souls in his pack there, in his bag there in the back.
Looks like
what is it? The Green Reaper is also another one. Yeah, the Grim Reaper.
As Monty Python say, Mr. Grimm about the reaping.
Right. So this is the Google Plus community cover, and thank you all for contributing those photos. Continue for the coming week. Halloween is going to be in about a week and a half. It's I think a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Tuesday it is, yes.
Up to that point, I will change the community covers just so we get a nice variety, see everybody's build, and celebrate everybody's contributions to the communities. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to present my partners in crime, and starting with, of course, Bob. How you doing, Bob? You got to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning,
It's so
Bob.
dark here. I'm working for the cancer awareness group build, a pair of GTOs.
Very nice.
One white one.
Mm-hmm.
To be stock.
That's gonna be nice. I'm gonna like that. I know I'm gonna like that.
With a stock engine, stock setup. Here's the engine here.
Very nice.
And the white one's going to be a little more aggressive.
Not quite so.
That's a heck of a blower.
That's what she said.
And we're doing a stock stance on the PMD wheels. And
nice.
the custom one's going to be dragging the ground. Facing 5 stars. And right this exact second, I'm actually painting on the stock.
Nice.
Those will grow. Those I got to the end of the month to get those done. In a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
The dataless.
Yes.
That's the thing of beauty. That's the thing of beauty.
And I'm debating whether or not to Aztec it, so I haven't gone any further.
Little tiny.
What scale is that, Bob?
That's
This is
350.
a 1/1000 scale.
1,000?
It's 1,000.
Yeah.
350 would be about a foot long.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
It's not a bad little
I'm
kid.
debating whether to Aztec it. I have a nice set of the Aztecing mask from our good friend here on the.
Well, you can put a texture bit on there, but you don't really need to Aztec the plates themselves.
Kind of. Other than that, all I got to do is do a black wash on it and then decal it. But I'm debating whether or not to do a little bit of light Aztecing to it.
Yeah, black. Are you gonna do the black pinstriping on the ball?
All the panel lines and around all the. It's got like the rings around the fuselage and on nice black wash on that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show up here. The shuttle bay end has got real nice detail that'll take a black wash real good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. So where's the scanner?
I got
Where's the scanner under those?
the deflector.
The what?
Yeah, the deflector.
There's these three little. There's three. I don't know if they'll show up. There's three little
Oh, good God!
right here.
Yeah, it didn't have a big deflector on it. That's why they
Ugg
didn't
models
mention it.
resin kit. So outside the kit, I put the pylons are not heavy enough to hold up to the nacelles. They were sagging.
Mm-hmm.
10 sheeting here that I cut the same size as the nacelle as the pylons and glued it onto the bottom, stiffen it up. That's not bad. It's a $30 kit. It's gonna be a nice desktop model when it's done.
Not that bad.
Comes with a Starfleet Academy Museum badge for the base when it's done. But that's all the fish I got in the fryer right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, busy modeler you
Airplane
are,
or
though.
something. It's so long since I built an airplane that I don't even know how anymore.
Oh, please. Come on. It's like riding a bike once you've done one successfully.
Well, just yesterday, the guy picked up the GTX. That was the commission build.
Uh-huh.
He's happy, and it's out of my hair.
I
Nice.
saw your video earlier on today, Bob, about the pilot service announcement.
Oh, yes, the PSA.
Oh, something to nervous some people. I mean, every time I get a mold kit or something like that, comes in like this.
Yeah.
Comes in a box. And that
Normally.
brown paper is not very safe at all.
They'll send it from the UK to the US. Charge £25 for shipping. Brown paper.
What? For God's sake, I thought my place was issuing had an issue.
They did make it right. They refunded the money on it. Had it right.
What is the kit okay? Is it just the box that's damaged, or
The box was damaged and then all scraped up from being squished and fellas. They never packed that separate, which I can fix.
is the kit itself okay?
I mean, they refunded the £25 for the shipping. Charged me £26 and put it in a cardboard box when they had a problem.
No, I wouldn't.
So just a friendly reminder.
Is the kit okay though, Bob? Is all the screws together? Nothing came off.
Oh yeah,
Oh, cool.
we got scuffed up. The canopy got scuffed,
Oh,
polished. That can
Oh,
polish
there you
that
go,
out. So fine. It's just I can't imagine doing that, but I guess I do.
Okay.
That's all I got working right now.
Right.
I'll try to get another plane in here this week or next week.
All right. Well, Randall couldn't join us today. He is at another show, as he was 2 weeks ago. And I have to admit, he's got the corniest sense of humor, but I got to say, I'm stumped on this one.
Well, they're watching the repair.
Watch repair.
Yeah.
They're watching the repair.
Okay. I get it. All right. Well, you know what? Anyway, I commented on this, and I said, I'm sure I don't get this one. And what do you call it? He responded by saying, "Give it time."
Even better.
Oh, he gave you the long and the shorthand on that one.
Yes, and I says, "Well, I got that one." So he's got. This is kind of like what modeling is like, huh?
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. If the store is a watch repair, I think they're trying to say you can watch the repair happening. That's why everybody's around the window.
Yes, it's like come and see the repair.
I am not
Yes.
so sure. I'm not sure
It's a
that
play
was.
on words.
I'm not sure that was funny, but I think his response certainly was.
Yes.
Yes.
So if he drops in on if he drops in with a live feed, he says he's going to try to see. I haven't heard anything from his direction yet, like he did a couple of weeks ago at the
The island IPMS. The Irish
IPMS
one.
in Dublin, yes, and boy, we got an eyeful on that one. So if you're watching and having caught the Cross the Pond 2 weeks ago, it was quite a treat to have a live feed come in from Dublin and all the different models that and of course he came home with quite a few prestigious trophies.
Yes,
Yeah, he did well. He did really well.
We're among
first, I think.
we're among greats here at Amazing Scale Modelers. We are certainly among greats. And without further ado, I'd like to move on to our man in a crew cut.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
that's me.
I think this cut. I like this cut. The cut you've had in the past would paint you bald, and that's not so fond of. But this one's a good one. I like this one.
You can go the full color.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You old tease, you. You old tease.
Has that improved your modeling now that your hair's not flopping in your face?
Actually, yes, it has, believe it or not.
They're not like the English sheepdog anymore, huh? Okay.
No, not so much English sheepdog. I used to call myself, I used to call it the mop. Because then you could tip me upside down, put me in the bucket, and then use me as a mop. So
now
there you go, you see?
Now you're getting close to the hairless cat.
No, I'm the buffer.
More like a dish server now.
So what's
Well, it's better than being called Uncle Fester.
Yeah, you know what? Do you have a light bulb handy? Stick it in your mouth.
Yeah, right up here.
Hey, so what's going on? So what's going on here?
Well, I've been working on my General Lee. She's coming along beautifully.
Nice.
The body is painted.
Mm-hmm.
The body is painted. The interior is painted. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day where I start putting it all together. Tomorrow is the day where I start putting it all together and make it all look beautiful.
Cool.
And then I'm hoping that I can get the decals on, the body on. If I can't get the body on, it'll probably be either Monday or Tuesday that I'll do that. But definitely the interior and stuff like that are going to be done tomorrow. I've also started my Tyrrell P34 model kit, the six-wheel car, the six-wheel F1 car. The engine's been done on that. So I'll be starting the main body parts and stuff like that ASAP because I want to get it done for my dad as soon as possible because he's been waiting for that for a long time. Neither this year. This has been the most productive year to date of my modeling. Every month there's been like one model kit or two model kits. I mean, my first two shelves on my bookcase here are full of the cars that I've built this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's 8 of them. Plus 9's out there. Plus I've got some here. All my Bandai are over there. And I also grabbed myself another plane. I grabbed myself an F4E Phantom. So that'll be being built soon too. So probably by the end of the year, I probably would have done 12 models.
Oh wow!
12 models this year. I'm gonna have to do a video to show, just to see how much, just for myself, just to see how much I've built. I mean, this year
I think Lou
I've
does that every year too, don't you? I think Lou does that too. He sets everything on a table and he talks about them. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Heath.
Yeah, and I mean, I've sold some kits. I've got some kits that I've been really after. I mean, I've got. Let's see. I've got my Mitsubishi. One of the kits I have been after for a Grail kit, which is my Ford Sierra, which will be turned into a Australian version of the Ford Sierra that we used over here in the mid to late 80s to early 90s. That we had the Sierras down here. Then on top of that, I've still got this is going to go. I don't think I'm going to stop. I don't think I'm going to stop until this is probably going to be. I've got a whole stack of kits down here. I've got to do some, but some of the kits are for the stash, just for the stash, which are some of the kits that I don't really want to touch and build because they're some of my personal favorites. But if I build them, then I build them. But if I don't, then I'll just leave them for the stash. And then I'll think what I can do with it. But no, so far this week I've been working constantly, continually. Actually, not constantly, continually on my General Lee. So I'm trying to make it so nice, in fact, that I've even painted the seat belts on the seats.
Nice. So,
yeah, but this build, I'm trying to do the best I possibly can with the General Lee, not get any fingerprints on the screens at all. One of my friends gave me one of my Facebook friends gave me an idea. He was saying, take the window to the frame of the car, you put the glue on, and then you tape the windscreen to the back. The tape. You put tape on the back of the windscreen, and then when it's dry, you take it off, and then that'll stop, and that will stop the fingerprints and stuff like that. And some of the reference shots. I'll tell you what. Some of the reference shots I got for the interior were absolutely brilliant. You can actually see the detail of what the actual color is on the interior. And one of my friends said it was buff, and another friend of mine said it was tan. And the only bit that is really brown is the steering wheel. That's the only thing that's brown, because the back roll cage, that's black. And then when I saw in my reference shot, there's only one roll bar, and that's right in the back, right near the back. So what I'll be doing with that is I'll be putting the roll cage together and then trying to snap it. Well, not snap it, but get my model kit pliers and try and snap it all together and just use the back. Just use the back roll bar so it gives a little bit of definition, and you'll be able to see into the interior. Okay. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I just taking some notes because I'm studying.
Studying. Look out, Jack's studying. He's doing different things. But
yeah,
no,
study won't hurt you. Ha ha ha. Okay.
No, study won't hurt you. No, it goes away.
Well,
it goes away.
I got to look like I actually organize these shows and know what I'm talking about. So I just got to make a look. But
hey, I'm the one going to hell. You are only watching. Okay.
Very good. Well, you know what? I also have, that's a 16 scale, right? Is that a 16 scale generally? Or
This one's the 1/25th scale.
Oh, the 120.
This one's from MPC. This one's from MPC.
Oh, okay.
The next one I'm working on is from MPC. So I'm actually thinking of getting Roscoe's police car. Believe it or not, I'm going. You serious? You serious? See, I haven't done a police car. I've never done a police car. I've never done one. I've been wanting to though. But that's enough for me. On to the next victim.
Huh.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
I just want to give a shout out to Dave from DJ Model Works. He couldn't join us because he says his broadband is messing up on him. But let's see. I do have, yeah, here he is. I would encourage you to go to, this is his Google Plus page that I'm going to screen share here. This is, oh, he's such a nice guy. This is his General Lee diorama that he did recently over the summer. Actually got done before the summer was over, before it even got started even.
Look at that
Went over famously, and that's part of his build right there. So sorry you can't join us, Dave. I hope you can get all that straightened out. It's always a joy to have you.
That General Lee of Dave's is the same size as mine. That's the same scale. So
I don't know why I'm sniffling. I think the furnace kicked on and it's kicking up all kinds of dust. So excuse me. I don't think it's anything else than that. So if I seem a little misty, that's why. Also, in the coming up, this is a Facebook. I do believe he's a Facebook member, Gilbert Mondragon, and he also has a figure. He's going to be a future on Facebook, a future cover.
Jeez!
Wow.
Yeah.
Gilbert is brilliant at them. I'm a member of Styrene Syndicate as well, and he has a hangout on Friday and Saturday morning, like Friday nights, Saturday morning, and sometimes I go in there. And he's a great guy. Gilbert's brilliant. He's a great guy.
Yeah. I'm not sure which I can fit in there, but this is some of the pictures that he had shared with us on the Facebook community. All the
looks like that guy's
particularly like the stitching here. Look at that, the stitching on the holster. Very, very close attention to detail there. Let's do a merciless zoom in.
Pardon me.
A little pixely, but that works. Good stuff.
That's interesting. That is really interesting.
Yep. So these going to be probably, I'm not sure when. I haven't scheduled them. When I get back today, tonight, I'm going to schedule the changes. Like I said, during the week of Halloween, Facebook has enough community coverage for an entire week. Thank you all for, I'm going to share them later, more of it later. Thank you all for contributing. And every couple of days, it's gonna be, and of course on the Google Plus community, you guys get it together. Come on, post some Halloween stuff. And moving on to Jim. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine there, Jack. Actually, I've had a fairly productive.
Oh, look at that!
Week.
Yes,
I have finally got it finished. Ooh. Let me put some pictures up here.
Oh, no, that's brilliant. That is nice.
Yeah, so the Falcon 9 is built. Now, we're going to share.
A rocket with legs.
Yeah.
You know what? I think, what's his name, is taking inspiration from the 50s sci-fi movies, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah.
So got through in... adding like the for the leg supports, I had they're not strong enough with just the tube, so I put the styrene rod inside, and it also makes them I can adjust the length of them. So it's painted the ends and then wrapped them with the tube paper.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
As you can get from that. Interesting was getting the height. They didn't really specify what the height was. I had to look some actual pictures and found out that this angle here was 25 degrees. So that's what I used for adjusting with the height.
But the height off the ground, or the...
Yeah, well, I found that I measured the height off the ground is equal to the distance from the bottom of the nozzles to the top of the hinges is the same distance from the bottom of the nozzles to the ground.
Okay.
So looking at several pictures, measured that. So that gave me an idea of the height, and that this angle here is 25 degrees. So I made a 25-degree template, and that sort of, once I raised this up to the right height and achieved my 25 degrees, I got the right height.
Okay.
With that, and then had this supported on a pedestal that was building off, and then held the main tube in place, and then started assembling the legs in position.
Nice. And it supports it.
And it supports it perfectly fine. It's actually quite strong.
Wow.
So that's the completed one. That one. Now let's go now. That's another one. And we go here. These are the completed pictures. Now the base was interesting, and to do it because I couldn't find a good image for doing the whole landing base because it wouldn't fit really, because the yellow ring is actually almost equal to the edge, just outside the edge of this base, so it just wouldn't look right. So I didn't bother with the yellow ring, but I did find a image of the Space X and
Space XX.
the Space XX
X from
the logo.
Yeah.
The Space X and sized it. I'll show you after I dropped the image and printed it out. And then
Now, is that just like
a card, cut the image out in a card, and then being careful to cut it out, then use the card that I cut it out with to center it on the base, and then clamp the card in position, and then put the glue on the pieces for the thing, and just use the cutouts as a positioning for the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they were dry, just lifted the card off, so it made it real easy to position the pieces that way.
Right.
It's just a wooden craft base or something.
Yeah, it's actually I got from Michael. It's actually a wooden clock.
Yeah,
base.
clock base. Yeah,
it's exactly the size that I needed. So just finished off the edge, and then got the blue paper and got that glued on. I started thinking, Mike, you can get the paper. It's in 1 foot squares as opposed to 8.5 letter size, so it fits better on this than because the letter size should be short.
Right, you'd have to shrink down to make it fit.
Yeah, and by this paper at 1 foot square that fits onto there perfectly fine. Sort of an up view look. And a down view look. There. I'm really surprised how actually strong these legs are once it was all put in. It's actually quite quite stiff.
That's because you're used to working with paper.
Yeah.
Get some good old styrene in there.
Yeah, you got some compliments on the live chat there, Jim.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, brilliant job.
Oh, from Dave, yeah.
Yeah, they said brilliant job. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. Boy, the amount of detail, too.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
And this is simple stuff for you.
It's just tubes.
I had to do a lot of logistics because it didn't have all the images, how everything went, so I relied on a lot of actual photographs of the
no kidding.
craft. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, about the level of instructions depending on what you're getting off the internet, because you get this off the internet, print it yourself, and then you build it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you say it comes with instructions, sometimes you got to improvise. You look at a part, and
or some hybrid in between, you know. So you got partial instructions, but it doesn't answer all the questions. So then you have to go back to your research and actually look at the real thing and see what's actually there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like almost getting like IKEA furniture without the instructions. I mean, you got to look at these parts and figure, okay, where does this belong? Yeah, but what I'm impressed with is that your skill in rolling those cylindrical posts, rods, however you want to call it, tubes. And you're saying it's strong. That's quite amazing. And looking at them, they're all very uniform. They're not like willy-nilly like I'd probably do them. One's fatter than you. But I'm actually going to say, you know what? Your secret's good with me, but I think they're dowel rods. Yeah, but that's awesome work there, Jim. Absolutely. You've been doing this since for forever, I guess. In your lifetime, you've been doing this a lot.
I've been doing paper models for, I guess, about 15. About 18 years.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be longer because your skill level's so good.
I've been modeling longer than that, but I did the paper models. I'm doing about 18 years.
Yeah, I'd been doing. I did modeling a long time ago. Then I got too fat, so. Oh, wrong modeling. Sorry, wrong modeling. Until Harvey Weinstein got me on his couch, I stopped modeling.
Yeah. So as I was saying about for the logo. So I printed out and scaled it. This is a normal paper, but it would print out on card.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay.
You know what? I was just
and then cut it out.
Just looking, I see what you're doing there, and I was thinking you have a 3D printer.
Yeah.
You know, and what's to say you don't 3D print that with the logo being raised?
Well, the logo is raised, but it's raised by using a heavy card.
Well, thickness of the paper. But I'm saying you can that's a simple 3D design and print.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point. If I ever have one sharper than one on my head. But I was just thinking that because I'm in this 3D mode right now again in my head. I'll tell you more about that later, but yeah, that's really a good idea. You can layer your paper and kind of do 3D imagery on that flat surface to give it some interest. Yeah,
you can get card in all different thicknesses because I have card up to 2.5 mils thick. So
then it just
This is a question because I have to say I'm being stupid, even though I'm interested in it, but I don't spend the time looking. But speaking a little more about SpaceX and the Falcon that you have there, clearly that is in its landed mode after it has delivered its payload.
Yes.
What shape is the payload? Is it a cone shape?
It's a cone shape. It's typical. It's a standard cone type top that is similar with all the launches. So it's like a cone. It's a cone shape. It's probably about not by a third, probably about a not quite a quarter, a little more than a little. Of course, probably about that much more for the payload on top. And then it's in a shroud, so it's in like a cone-shaped shroud, which once it starts to leave the atmosphere, they eject. So.
Oh, interesting. And do you know what the weight capacity of that rocket is?
I would have to look it up. I'm not totally sure.
That's not going to be used to deliver people into space. That's to deliver supplies.
Yeah, no. The one will go up on probably the Falcon Heavy, which we should have the first launch of in the end of this month.
You think of building one of those?
It's possible. I haven't got the templates yet for it. I'll have to check with Alfonso and see if he's done the templates for the Heavy yet. I don't think he has. So.
Okay. I'm just curious. That would be of interest to me to see what it all looks like. All right. Would that be all there, mister?
That's all for the moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got a project to do for my sister here for probably next week, and then start getting prep work to start on the Arcadia.
Well, awesome job there, mister. And I have another screen share of another person who, what's his name here? Bob Schaefer. Guess what this is? Some George Barris creations, both the Dragula in the foreground and the Munsters coach in the background. Fun stuff is being posted over there at Facebook. Let's see if we can do the, it's a little blurry, but it works for me. I built the coach. That's a fun build. It's an easy build. It's a fun build too at the same time. I was thinking of getting the Dragula this year. I don't know. I got mixed up into other stuff, but this is Bill Schaefer's builds that's going to become later on in the coming week for the Facebook community covers. Moving on, I have Jamie. How you doing, Jamie? And we were talking earlier this morning, and I bow to the altar of your genius because you've got a little clicky thing in your hand, and you can just turn around and, like a television, turn on your Enterprise.
Yeah, I think I've looked around, Jack, and I think it's the first for using remote on the TOS. I don't think anybody else has done it yet. I think most people have just done it on the bases. So I wanted to give it a go, and it kind of works. Got a small demonstration for you and for the people who are watching. This is, at the moment, the engines are not, this is the TOS. The engines are not connected, but they are working. The light system is in. It's going to have little lights coming out the domes at the back. These are the pieces here. It's up and ready, but it's got the finesse work to do at the moment. But the magic, as you say, like I was talking to you earlier, is this thing, the remote control. So if I hold this and then point it up there, we have power. I'll turn it on the side. You can see it's set up, so you can literally just sit in the chair, press the A button, and she'll go out. Press the A again, and she'll come on.
I like the way you said it. I like the way you said it. You sit in your chair, point it, and click. It's just like such a guy cave, a man cave type of thing. Just sit back, relax, click a button. The world happens in front of you.
Now, if you look closely to where the pages and photo torpedoes are, you won't get any sound because the speakers are not wired up, but you will see the lights. So if I press button B, you have the photo torpedo. And if I press button D, you'll have the phasers. Which is a little added touch. To do this, I've got the nacelles lit up too. So basically, everything's wired up. It's just doing the finesse work on the Enterprise itself at the moment. The only problem I've had with it, which I mentioned, which, you know, for me, I'm kind of like a perfectionist, but I'm going to have to let this one slide, is the back strobes. They're not flashing. Something's gone wrong with the electric somewhere along the line, and it's something I'm going to live with. I've watched a couple of shows, and then the ship's flown past and not been flashing, so it's one of those things. I'll live with it. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with the ship and the progress I'm making at the moment on it. This was the original. These are the original grills, which I had on the other Enterprise that went in the pan, but they're a bit clogged up and mucky. So what I've done, I went on the web and I bought some of this.
Oh, nice.
So this is like a mesh you can buy, and what I'll do is I'll cut them to the size of this,
right,
and stick them on, and then spray them. So it saves. It's a good. This is a really good idea to do because one, you haven't got to buy the round 2 kit, which these are supplied with, these bits. So then this per sheet is about £2.32 compared to the 20 or 30 pounds you have to pay for the complete set for the aftermarket parts for the TOS. So this is a good saving. Everybody's doing the TOS. Go and get yourself some of this sheeting. But apart from that, that's what I'm up to, Jack. So yeah, the TOS is coming on nicely.
Cool. Cool. Well, you seem a little, I don't know, less talkative today. I don't know why you're disappointed in that. That looks awesome from this where I'm sitting. It looks great. I mean, this is probably as far as I can get on something like this. So if you get any further on it, you've got me by a mile. Good luck with that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, yeah, I mean, the only thing that's got in that others haven't put in, it's got 3 boards instead of just the one. So you got the remote connected to the main board, and then the main board's connected to the phaser and photo torpedo board, which all come through the remote control. So that's anything that's different about this build. And then I've got to work on, you know, putting the motors in, putting the back in, and basically doing the paint job on it, which will take weeks and weeks and months, but it'll get there, it'll be finished. And then I'm going to put the whole thing onto John Petrie's base he built me, which should be with a like a glass effect top. So it should look quite good when it's finished.
Cool. Cool. All right, very good. And we'll be looking forward to having that done. That'd be great, because I'm kind of threatening to do that as my next big build, but I'm also threatening to do a lot of other stuff. But long and short of it, I got no time in my life to do any real serious modeling. Another one that complains, I don't want to say complains, but remarks rather frequently on the YouTube channel, and I just like to make snarky remarks because I can really relate to what he's saying. This is, I think, Jason from Halloween, the movie. This is Kenny Conklin's build that he is doing of the diorama. I think there's like 3 people. I think our very own Dark Pit is doing it too. And there's one other guy I'm going to share later. He's actually got this done, and it's creepy as all hell. So I'll share that momentarily. But I kind of like the coloring of this. It looks like the ghost of Jason. You know?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. Okay, Jason is the other guy with the ski mask. Oh, okay. You see how I am such a bad nerd. I don't know these things.
Bad nerd.
Yes, that would be Mike Myers. Yeah, this is like the ghost of Mike Myers, and I just think it would be kind of funny to leave it this way. I mean, that's something my sense of humor might consider. But anyway, moving on. How you doing there, Lou? And awesome job on that Raptor.
Thank you. I was struck by Jamie's. I was starting to sing "Dry Bones" in the background. The main board connected to the photon board.
I was thinking the same thing. And do the hokey pokey and shake it all about. Yes.
Dear Lord. I have a quick screen share on the last the last project that I finished. Let's see. There we go. That's the last thing that I finished.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, the curtain rod. Yes.
Yeah, the curtain rod. It's too big and all these, and it's also screwed to the wall. I can't bring it down to show people because it's that base. Actually, it's magnetized to the base. I can pick it up off the base, but then you're holding it like a vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
How long is that?
But that's the last thing I finished before. And let me see. Going back to the stop. Let's see. That's stop screen.
What's the length of that, Lou?
41 inches, basically.
Holy shit! That's
That's
a
long.
It's a long one. It takes the spinal rod is a 3-foot piece of metal, so it takes 3 feet of metal rod in the center of it. And what I'm working on, or what I just finished, is hopefully the cord will allow me to bring it over far enough, but maybe not. No, I'm running out of power. I'm out of power, Captain. But that's thereafter.
Purdy. If you want to see more of that, kids, all you watching, go to the Google Plus community. Lou has a video. I watched it this morning.
Thank you. And if I unplug it, then of course I can bring it up closer.
Yep. I watched it this morning, and his paint job is phenomenal. And of course, he thinks it's lit up too much. I think it's lit up just right.
The beacons are a little strong, but I'm living like Jamie says, I'm living with it. But I highly recommend getting the photo etch for this because it really dresses up that interior. I don't make any bones on the selling Paul's interiors, but I highly recommend them. But that's what I've been working on this week. So what's new with you?
I will withhold that. But that's it. I mean, for a retired guy, you got nothing to say.
Well, I also I did the armament set on the other Raptor, but I didn't bring that in. That armament set's a nice little add-on if you're looking for something to dress up your Raptor. But be warned that you cannot, or you have to glue the door shut to make it work. So you're really not going to be able to see the interior of the back avionics bay. So you got to recognize that that's going to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
They recommend gluing the door shut. You probably could arrange some sort of hinge where you can remove the one and still be able to see inside. But it's kind of pointless to add the armament set and the photo etch and all of that to one single kit because the two kind of fight each other.
I see. Oh, there's a lot of choices you got to make along the way.
A lot of choices, but you kind of have to have that figured out in advance. And
yeah, seem to be able to do that advanced, but I see your point.
That's going to be it for, I think, for lighting for a little bit for me. The next thing I'm working on that's going to involve a lot of lighting is the big Star Destroyer, and that's a bulb and fiber optics. That's not what I would consider a lot of lighting. There's no, I mean, it's more or less a bulb with a bunch of fiber optics. It's not an intricate lighting thing.
All right. Very cool. And I'd say we're going to share one more. This I said earlier, this is going to be the one that is finis. And this is, who is this? This is J. Carlos Gonzalez. This is also on the Facebook community. Wow. This is really cool stuff here. And I think he's really captured, I don't know, the feeling you get from the movie, too. I mean, it's very 80s. in some ways.
Well, what I like about it, just looking at it, it looks like the colors at night.
Yes.
I mean, the colors are all muted because it's happening at night. It's not. You would be tempted to print, to paint the overalls the natural daylight color.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also has the jack-o'-lantern lit too.
Yeah.
He has that lit, and it's not. He doesn't have it shared in any pictures, but there is a video that Dirk posted. I do believe he's got this lit. Somebody's got it lit, but this is really, really cool.
And that would be a natural for one of those little tea lights too, because it flickers.
Yes, exactly right. In fact, on a video, it looks just like a candle that flickers.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Moving on up, we're talking to Phil. How you doing, Phil?
Oh, hiya. Okay. I was expecting Wayne to be next. You took me by surprise there.
Well, P comes before W in the North American English.
Yeah. Oh, you're going alphabetically, right? Okay. Yeah, I've been a little bit busy. I've completed the work on the Y-wing, the Bandai Y-wing. I did post that up. Painted and weathered more because it comes together rather nicely anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to make sounds when you're going.
Well, yeah.
Zooming around.
There you go. So that was very enjoyable. That was a nice, enjoyable Sunday. I've had stuff in the post which I'm quite pleased about. Yeah, I've got some of this.
Yes. My friend
Picked up some tulip. It only took me 3 years to find out what it is that I needed to get, but
Yes.
I've got it now. So
you use that on everything. You will put that on your hot dogs.
yes, it's delicious. It's slightly chewy.
Yeah. It will become your best friend.
Yes. Now, I can't remember whether I showed this the last time or not. I can't remember if anyone saw that I'd received that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did I show that? I apologize if I'm repeating myself from last time, but I thought it was so good. I have to show it again. But then something else showed up as well.
Now, you're ordering these things. Don't tell me they're just showing up.
Well, yeah, they just show up. I have no idea what happens, but
You used to live in a house of a person who got a lot of these, and they still keep coming.
yeah. And I enjoyed the bigger Y-wing so much. I ordered that.
You have a capital Y and a lowercase y.
I know, lowercase y, yes. The question was asked when I posted up the build of the Y-wing about chipping medium, and they asked what it was, because I've just been experimenting with it, and I was using that, which is the Vallejo chipping medium.
Mm-hmm.
And you spray that like a dark, whatever color you want coming through the top coat as when you've got the chips there. You spray that on the model first, let it dry, spray the chipping medium on it. You probably need to thin this stuff to be able to spray that. A lot of people use hairspray. It's the same thing. It's just you got more control if you use the airbrush. And then once that's dry, you spray your top coat over the top. Then you get like a coarse brush and some water, and you just scrub away at it, and it brings it through. It's sort of in a very realistic manner. I don't know if you can see that. Is that focused?
Oh, yeah, focused enough for me.
For the chipping.
Yes.
And it just sort of, you can do it in a really controlled way, and it's much better than trying to paint the chips on. And because I was getting rather carried away with it.
But who does that?
I picked one of me old models off the shelf, which have been sitting there unpainted for many years. I just want to see if I can share this. I want to show you a picture of what it looked like. Screen share. I think that one. You see how yellow that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cause I used to smoke cigars, and which is one of the reasons why it's yellow. But that yellow is actually in the plastic, so the plastic itself is yellowed. And I thought, well, I better do something about it before it completely disintegrates on me. So I decided I'd paint a base coat, spray it with chipping medium, realised I needed to do some filling, so I did that, and then with more chipping medium over the top, and I've sprayed it's like an off-white that I use, spray that over the top. And this morning, because everything was nice and dry, I had a bash with the water and the brush. I don't know if you can see that.
Now, does the chipping have a shelf life? Is there a certain amount of time that you have to start chipping away at it after you paint the top coat?
I don't think so. It's water based, so as long as you get water on it, once you've sealed it under a coat of clear.
But you're also using acrylic paints.
Yes, I'm using the Tamiya. This is a mix of the Tamiya XF2 and yeah, I put a few drops of deck tan in there to make it not so brilliant white. It's the mix that I'd use on or X-Wing or Y-Wing even. So yeah, and you just sort of scrub away. I actually, some of the bigger chunks that have come off, if you can see on the legs, I started having a bash with toothbrush.
Oh yes.
But you have to be careful once you've softened it not to knock the paint with anything hard, because you can actually just sort of get a straight line through it. Fortunately, I've got that in a place where it looks like it's a normal scratch anyway, so I think I got away with that one.
Is there anything you put on the base paint to seal it before you put the chipping medium over it?
No, just put the chipping medium over it. If you're careful enough, you don't go through the base paint. Because the whole idea is that the actual paint layer, if you leave it to dry long enough, the actual paint layer that you're chipping away is actually still hardened. The water doesn't reactivate the paint; it just reactivates the chipping medium under the paint.
Okay.
So it sort of flakes.
That's why I was asking if that chipping medium on the shelf.
I think it works very well with Tamiya paints because they're sort of like an acrylic lacquer, so they harden better than most. A lot of almost pure water-based paints, you know, that they might be a bit more sensitive to using it, but I haven't tried it with others. I mainly use Tamiya.
Okay.
So I've got loads of paint mixes to I found out about, researched, so I can get near enough the right colours.
But that chipping medium is Vallejo?
At least on the things. The chipping medium is Vallejo, yeah. Yeah, it actually came in a set, a weathering set, and that was one of the things.
Works with Vallejo.
I've actually I've actually thinned it with some water, so I've got it in a little dropper bottle.
Okay.
With a little stainless steel ball bearing in it, so I can agitate it. I don't know how, I'm going to find out how long that stuff lasts in there, because I made plenty, and yeah, I think I thinned it about half and half water. So yeah, I do seem to be on a bit of a Star Wars kick at the moment, but yeah, going into the realms of BattleTech, because that's it's the old RE Well, it's Macross was I think the original name, but over in this country it was. I used to play the old BattleTech game on the board, on the hex boards and that.
Right.
And I bought that a long time ago. I think it's got to be 25, maybe 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just been sitting there, which is why it was very, 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 very yellow. I might point out, it's a bit breezy around here, changing the subject, because we've got Storm Brian at us at the moment, which I think is a very, very British name for a storm.
Yeah.
It's a bit Monty Python, really, isn't it?
Yes.
He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. So
that would be it, or would it talk further about the British weather? I mean, because I know the Brits love to talk about the weather.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for the sun to appear.
Oh, Brian killed me mum.
Well, that's not bad being on a Star Wars kick. I think you're just going to just build so many of them that would be your genius behind them, is just to overwhelm us with the amount that you're doing. I think that works.
Star Wars.
That works. Moving on forward, we have Wayne. How you doing, Wayne?
Hello. I'm trying not to shut my fingers off.
Okay.
Okay. Finish this off a minute.
You're a little choppy there. It's difficult.
You're real low too.
Real low. Yes.
Hey,
turn up the
he's actually
volume
building a model.
for us old folks.
Actually, while we're waiting for Wayne to finish, I did mean to ask Jamie something. Jamie, you know the remote that you've got there?
Yeah, this one.
Have you thought of perhaps dressing it to look like a communicator?
Yeah, I had thought about that, but
It looks about right, doesn't it? or maybe the little hand phaser that they had.
Yeah, you mean to customize it to look like a little flip up thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
You gotta make the boop boop sound though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm that sophisticated enough on electronics to do that yet at the moment. If I tinker with it, it might not work. So
Better let me know.
I have a sorry for interrupting. I have had a quick message on my phone. Somebody's watching on YouTube, and you saw me messing with the engines at the back, and they said, I was talking about the speed of my engines, so I decided to quickly wire them up. So the person who's watching, here they are.
Nice.
If I turn it
Very
this
nice.
way, you can probably see the speed, yes.
Oh, look at that.
And that's those. They're just rough and ready. They're not even painted, Jack. They're just rough, ready. I've not even sanded the glass down yet. So, and they work to the speed of the Smithsonian. So,
Nice.
done. So there you go. Sorry for interrupting. That was for the person that's watching on YouTube. So yes, the engines are in and they're working.
Maybe he's listening to his audience, giving them what they want.
Yes.
Yeah, well, if you are watching as audience, the live chat is open, and just pop on over and say hello and make a comment, ask a question, or just continue watching. Wayne, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. I figured out what the problem was. Please download in the background, so I'll pause it for the time being.
Okay. Have you run out of tanks to build?
No, I've got a tank. I've still got half a doing to build anyway. So but I've been.
Okay.
Oh, so that's all right. It's just Jamie's making noise in the background. My purchases recently from the model show I went to at Newark. I bought some modern military equipment for the Abrams tanks I got.
Cool.
Yes, coolers and jerry cans.
Yeah, I had to buy a classic kit. I had to get a T-34. This was £15, and it was a bit of a water damage box as well. So I'm going to swap out the decals where it was a bit yellowy and. And I got something completely different. I got a P-47 Republican Thunderbolt.
Oh, yes.
It's an airplane.
Yeah, I think I bought one of those as well.
Wait a minute, is Wayne allowed to make airplanes?
Dunno.
I don't know. I think there's a law against that.
Wayne, you're not allowed
Yeah, I was
to
going
make
to
airplanes.
say.
He's been relegated to do all the tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try something. I'm trying to break it up a bit more.
Think of it as an air tank.
Are you saying you need variety?
I'd say to try something different. I'd like to try something different. That's all.
You try not to get typecast.
Yeah.
It's a tankless job.
Oh,
God.
Randall.
It's the jokes again. I got this one. This is a re-release from Tamiya. It's the British Army Centurion Mark III. The same one they used in Korea. It is a nice looking kit. I think it's a retooling as well from the old 70s kit. Oh. Got a metal barrel, I think, on this. Oh, no, that's it.
Ooh. That'll be nice.
Is that common to have metal barrels in kids?
Not really, no. Some of them, I think there may be an axle thing. But I'm going to start I'm going to make a start on this soon.
What?
Some paints.
Oh yeah, he's been doing Gundams.
He's really become a Gundam fanatic now.
That's not a Gundam tank, is it?
Move aside, Mark Dunmore. Here comes Wayne.
Yeah. Actually, all this from Japan, it's about 20, 30 quid. I got it for. So I got that. But
I think, Wayne, you're just treating that like a tank with legs.
There you go.
Well, here's what latest one I've done.
Oh, nice.
That's it's 1.4 scale.
Oh, have you posted pictures of that? I think you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have posted pictures
On the Google Plus community?
Yeah. I think I should be able to.
Yeah, it's going to take me a moment to bring them up.
There you go, Jack. I'm screen sharing now, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. That's right. There you are. Nice. Yeah. You showed that a couple of weeks ago. So what have you done since then, or if anything?
I just basically finished off stuff for the Newark show, but I'm also ordered something else from Japan.
Oh,
There you go. I've ordered that one. That's the custom version of the same kit I've got.
Heavy arms version, yeah.
Yeah, so that's on its way. Should be back by the time I get. Should be delivered by the time I get back from Telford. Yeah, this is something else I've finished off, the another tank kit.
oh, nice. Look at all that rust. Go back one. Go back one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mud. It's not even rust. It's mud.
Which? No, that's rust, dirt, grime, oil, grease.
No, the photo prior to that.
Yeah, that's just accumulation of mud and dirt all around the tracks I've got.
Oh, nice. Really cool.
That's mine's a bit different.
Oh, nice. Really cool.
So,
That's
is that an
mine's
IS?
a bit different.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's an IS2. That's Jason's.
Really cool.
Very nice. Is that an IS? Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's an IS2. That's Jason's.
Really cool.
Very nice. Very nice. Is that an IS?
Yeah, scratching.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's an IS2. It's Phil, you're saying something about the chipping effect. So I've got I use mixed chipping fluids, and they do like scratch effects, heavy chipping and stuff like that. And it's a liquid base, so you can just basically do it through the brush or airbrush. But all the videos that I've seen is saying somebody says you've got to put like a gloss coat on over the model before you put the chipping fluid over it. That's always always do use like a semi-gloss or gloss varnish.
Provide a barrier.
Yeah, that's what a lot of videos have been saying.
Cool.
And I even did a little display case for the Gundam. So, yeah, that's another one for Telford. Actually, that's about it. I've been busy at work. I've been doing like 14-hour days and stuff like that. So that's the only bit of modelling I've done so far in 2 days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's about it. I've been doing some looking around. I'll just see what I can buy next. But, well, that's about it. Me done. I've just got to say I've got like some line colour from Tamiya.
Oh, the panel line accent colour.
Yeah. I got myself a little set bag of tools from Hong Kong and stuff like that for the Gundam builds. Well, let's say that's about it.
All right, Wayne. We have Dawn joining us. Dawn, I had to mute you because there's a lot of feedback coming back through your computer. So say hello. Unmute yourself and say hello. Dawn, you know how to do that?
Dun, 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 dun.
Boy, I just clicked onto his picture here. Boy, he's got a lot of things going on there. Look at that. You know how to unmute yourself there, Don?
He needs to mute the YouTube feed over there too. That's why you're getting the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, mute the YouTube feed and unmute the.
Okay.
And there's Don.
That there, and then okay. Well, hey. That's a nice emoji there, Don. Wonder what kind of ale you're drinking there. That looks actually very delicious. All right, I have something to share too. Let's see. Let's bring that puppy up here. I've had my misadventures with every build I have is a misadventure. I think I should change hobbies. Maybe I'm just too ambitious. As you well know, I've gotten like, what, 78 LEDs lighting up this burners for the 72 scale Millennium Falcon from Fine Molds. And what you're seeing here is, well, a repair job, because there were 3 LEDs that burnt out. I got my Dremel and my etching bit and carved out the I guess I didn't have to carve it out. I probably just had to drill a hole through it for these 2mm fiber optics right here to poke through the other side. And I attached 5mm. I put holes into the 5mm LEDs and then epoxied them in. And then wired them up individually. That's what I should have done to begin with. One resistor and one LED, and put them in instead of wiring them up in series. And if I did wire them up in series, I should have put, woulda, coulda, put a resistor on there. But the problem I found in putting resistor on a series of 3 was, well, okay, so when I got that fixed, I found another 2 set of 3s that burnt out. So I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I give up. But here in this picture, I have those LEDs lit up, and boy, that's the effect I wanted. I wanted to blind you guys on these things. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job. Of course, the phone camera had to mute itself to be able to pick up on this, because my workbench was pretty bright, and so was this. But that's the effect that I wanted. And whenever these two sets here, the set of 2 here burn out, I'm like, you know what, I'd give up. So what I ended up doing was spending my money that I had put aside for the Star Destroyer. I bought another kit of the Millennium Falcon. This time it's the Revell. I have not opened it yet. Because on the heels of on the heels of buying it from eBay, this is from I think the Mark Twain Model Shop in St. Louis, close to where Mr. Bob is from. Have you ever been to that hobby shop, Bob?
Yeah, that's my local hobby shop. That's where I go all the time.
Oh, really? Yeah. You know what? It's become my 2 hobby shops I go to, one in Pennsylvania and one, that one too, because these folks have the best price, actually. Okay, that's I'm searching something right now, Bob, multitasking. So I ended up buying another kit, which, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have done it. It was like $220. Haven't opened it up, and I haven't seen what Revell is doing as far as packaging. I don't even know what it looks like. But that was in an attempt to make up for the what do you call it, the burners, because I suspect the burners on a Revell kit, in fact, it's probably the same kit as Fine Molds. My understanding is Revell bought the molds, and now they're making.
Is it the Revell Master Series one?
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually the Fine Molds kit. All it is Revell boxing it. Fine Molds are still making it.
Well, you know, but maybe one of these days I will either sell the kit or
they're just not allowed to.
Remake the kit, and I don't know, maybe have it a versatile kit, maybe have the landing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe do something what Dave is doing, something big like that.
Jack, on the original script that you've only got 2 sets out, haven't you?
What's that?
On the original bit that you did, looked pretty good. You've only got 2 sets of lights out, haven't you?
Yeah, but when I turned it back on, that one set seemed to be temperamental, and I don't even know why it is. What it was suggested on Facebook is that, yeah, the voltage doesn't matter. Apparently, I thought it did. It doesn't matter, because when you add the voltages up with the 3 in series, it matches 9 volts. It should take it. But the way it was explained to me was that the electricity doesn't flow evenly, even on DC, just like it does on alternate current that's in your house. Thus, they're like little mini surges. It's these surges that are causing the LEDs to fry. And if you were to put even, say, a 80 or a 150 ohm resistor on a set of 3, that is better than nothing at all, because the resistor not only resists some of the voltage, but it kind of like evens out the flow of the electricity as well.
Well, all the ones you've got going at the moment, Jack, are working apart from those 2, aren't they? Those 2 sets.
Pretty much.
Why don't
you? Well, those are the 2 aside from the one I repaired, so that made it 3. I just gave up. I'm just like, you know what? It took all day to grind out that dental acrylic, put in the holes, do everything, fix it up, and then as soon as I fix it up, these 2 go out. And I'm like, you know what? This can go on just like what I did before, is I paired up the LEDs with a resistor, and when I put them in, they kept popping out, they kept burning out, whatever. It was just, I wasn't going to go down that road again, because that road took me all week to figure I'm chasing a bad idea. So what it was suggested to me is what I'm suggesting to everybody: 1 LED, 1 resistor. 1 LED, 1 resistor. And really, the model kit lends itself to a lot of space inside. I mean, I'll show you right now.
No, that wasn't even my suggestion, Jack. Instead of, you've done so much work on that, and it looks so good, right? My suggestion was,
well, yeah, well, that's the effect I want.
Maybe those 2 that went out, right, along the whole run, right. The ones that you've got working now are working fine, aren't they? Apart from the 2 that have gone out. Yes.
Yes.
So why don't you just replace those 2 independently? Don't wire them up to the rest of them, and wire them up to the power separately, so they all still come on together. It's just that you've got all those working in one line. It's the right voltage, or whatever's going on with it, they all work apart from those 2. So why don't you just replace the 2 that have blown, the 2 sections, and wire those 2 sections independently and plug them into the main power?
Well, you know, that's pretty much what I have here. That's what I showed you in the picture, pretty much. But this is the present look of the mess that I have here. And, you know, and I was being kind of stupid, because I was trying to be smart and clever and all that kind of stuff. And as you see right here, this is the bottom half of the model. It's not like I have like no room to work with. I have plenty of room to work with. It isn't like I need to be frugal with my space, which I did, which doesn't work. So as you can see, this I have a lot going on here, or I should say I have a lot of space here that I could use. So when I bought the kit over again, I ended up, I'm going to screen share.
I'm trying to do this live stuff, and I can't work this shit out.
I had gone to this place.
I can't. Yeah, please, that's fine, thank you. Yeah, I saw
Who's
that.
talking?
Don, I think.
That's done.
Yeah, we can hear you, Don. Nice. I went to this place. It was
you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
John. Of course we can hear you.
I didn't know that. Good yell.
I went to this place and opened up an account because somebody alluded me to somebody who does 3D drafting and 3D prints parts. And sure enough, I searched 72 scale Millennium Falcon parts, and a whole bunch came up, and found the guy that was mentioned to me on the, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you're watching, you know what this is about. Thank you for suggesting this, because it was $36 just to replace the burners. I haven't gotten them yet. They're on their way. The next show, next across the pond, I will share with you what by then I'll probably received it. I'll probably start working on it too. But I'm taking pictures of everything, and I'm going to do a video of the entire experience of the burners, of all the different things that I've tried and failed and continued.
You've seen it as well.
So eventually it's going to get done. But this is actually a very cool place I didn't know existed. So Jim, you know what? Maybe you could become a maker too. 3D print parts, because you've got a 3D printer as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did get done on is I put the sidewalls on. All the mealy greebies that were attached to it. There's even more I got attached to it, turns out. So more greebles to attach. And also a stand. As you see, in the middle is going to be the gun. So I can't really put it in the middle of the kit. I have to put it off to the side. And that's what this is here. This is a piece of aluminum tube surrounded by epoxy putty, and covered over epoxy adhesive, and it's hard as a rock. This is not going to move. And this is its adjoining tube, aluminum, with a little tube stuck inside of it. That's also epoxy. And mate the two together. Ta-da!
You have Falcon on a stick.
I have Falcon on a stick. I have Falcon on a stick. That is correct. So I'm continuing with this build. I thought I'd give up on it, but apparently, never give up. You continue to strive through with this. I do have a question for you folks. Right in the front of the mandibles, there are little headlights.
Yes.
Yes.
Do they fall on the inside of the mandibles or on the outside?
They're on the front edge.
They're on the front. They face forward.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm talking about right at the very front. Are they on the outside of the mandible or on the inside of the mandible?
I think they're recessed flush.
Well, this is the photo etch. This is the photo etch.
Oh, I see. You mean on the outer edge or the inner edge?
I think the two lamps are above the flat edge. They're not inset. I think they're raised above the edge.
Yeah, I think what it means is because they're offset from the center of each piece.
Yeah.
Are they towards the inner edge or towards the? I think they're towards the inner edge.
They're on the inside.
They're on the inside.
Yeah, they're on the inner edge.
So they go this way.
Excellent. Yes.
So if they're eyes, it'd look cross-eyed.
Well, I was hoping that you would say the other way, because right on the other side of it is a post. It's a locator pin.
Yeah, it's always the way.
Yeah, so I got to figure something out. That pin might disappear. I probably don't need it. I mean, there's a lot of pins on this. I don't think I need it.
There's also the surface. They got the whole edge of it to glue too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But that's all I really did last
you could drill through the post and trim the pin down so it doesn't go all the way down into the post.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
That's a thought. This is going to be a 2 mm. I'm going to attach an LED to. You know what? That's not going to work either, because this is
straddle the post with the wire.
Yeah, you might be able to get around the post.
If you look, it's covering it.
Yeah, you can get in.
This is right here.
Yeah, you can get around that. Yeah.
This is right here. On the other side of that, we're outside the model.
Yeah.
Because it's not on here, but there is a wall that is on the top side, on the top piece.
But you've got a bit of greeblies to go on the outside of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's attached to the top half, not the bottom.
So you should be able to get through it, I think.
Here's the photo etch.
It's far enough back to get the wires around it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna
you
be
got plenty of
close.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be all right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. Just turn the, bend the wires that come out of the back LED, like direct as soon as they come out of the LED, just shunt them over to the side.
I don't know if I'm going to do an LED. That's the thing, though. I'll probably do a because that's a metal piece.
You could do some. You could do a thick fiber or something in there too.
Yeah.
Well,
Then
yeah.
bring it
Well,
inside.
yeah. I
You
mean,
put a tiny
this-
surface mount in there and have plenty of room.
well, here's the 2mm fiber optic.
Yeah.
Nice and clear.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I'd use.
Yeah, you can do that. That'll eliminate. That gives you to bring the fiber optic in where you got some more room to work on. If that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah, it'll probably be something this long too. By the way, I got like I think a yard of this stuff. This stuff is really rigid. Well, long and short of it, I'll figure it out. But thank you for your suggestions. Certainly, I'll take them under advisement. But yeah, that's. I guess now that I presented everything about what I've done, I guess I did enough, I suppose. But when I figured I could buy the replacement parts on Sunday last week, I all of a sudden got this strong desire to continue, and I put up the sidewalls to it and continued on with it and did the stand part. But that's how I do the stand is I just get a tube, put it inside another tube, and a natural stop, and then this mate is on the inside of the model, and that is, of course, surrounded by the epoxy putty and then the epoxy on top of that. Because I did it just with epoxy, and somehow the epoxy putty and the plastic, if you don't like mash them together well enough, it'll pop off like, I don't know. It has to be glued, in other words. So that's why I use the epoxy on top of that, the 5-minute epoxy upon that. And it turns into a hard shell. So it's pretty rigid. It's pretty strong. So if it breaks, it's going to break the model. It's not going to break off. It's going to break the model. And
What are you doing? What are you doing to keep it spinning on the pole?
I'm sorry?
What are you going to do to keep it from spinning on the pole? You going to put like a set screw in it or something?
You have to rain on my parade. I thought I was doing something good.
No, it's very good. I was just wondering if you.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got a point there. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead, really. Probably thicken this part up a little bit and put some friction between the two.
Yeah, I mean, you can just wrap tape around where the two come together.
Right. That's what I'm thinking of doing is getting like maybe cellophane tape, and maybe magic tape, something because that's pretty thin. I think masking tape would be a little too thick. But I was thinking of doing friction between it because I've done it before that way. And yeah, it's.
Or you could put a key. You could put a key in it too.
Well, I'm just thinking you put a little bit of epoxy to smear it around there and jam it up, and that'll glue it.
Well, I don't want to glue it. I want to be able to take it off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but you could make a key. You could put a pin through the top where it comes through in your sleeve.
Oh, I know what he's doing. I know what you're thinking.
In the sleeve of the model, put a pin through it, and then cut 2 little notches in your shaft.
Yeah, I know.
When it goes in, it locks into place when you put it in the model. But it still allows you to lift it off.
Allows you to lift it off, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, but I would have had to fashion that prior to, gluing these two pieces together and gluing that in. You got a point there. That's a good idea. You
may be able to add it. You may be able to add it, even if you epoxied the pin in place. It depends how far up it goes. If the shaft goes up, does it go past the piece that's in the model?
Well,
does that go past?
Let's find out.
Oh, okay. I mean, it naturally has a stop.
Yeah.
let me-
Bottom. But what happens on the inside?
On the inside. Let's look on the inside.
Well, and the inside. Okay, you know what? My screen keeps bouncing back and forth. All right.
That's fine.
Okay, it's below.
Yeah, but couldn't he sink a piece into that top?
Yeah, he could. He could put another sleeve inside that piece with the pin in it, and then just glue that in on top.
Right.
And
And
then
then file the 2 notches into his female.
into his support shaft, and then have them line up. Yeah, so you could do it that way. You got enough room to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jack gets what we're talking about.
Oh, I get what you're talking about. No, I get it. I get it. I'm gonna do a cheap out and do a friction. Just get cellophane tape and make it. because really the fit between these two. Here, let me see if I can get a nice close up here. Focus. Okay, now I'm gonna wiggle the rod. See, look how much play I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have maybe about 1 millimeter. I think there's a overall because this fitting inside is crooked, and it's crooked because it's not a perfect fit. There's a millimeter difference in total diameter between the two, but the epoxy, of course, fills that cavity, and that's why it's done so. It holds so well. But that's what I was thinking.
Try it out.
I was thinking. What's that?
Go ahead and try it out with the cellophane tape and see if that's going to be enough for you.
Oh, I think that'll be enough. I think it'll be enough. But I do want to be. I always design it in a way that I always put it together in a way that I can pull off the model. Because if I need to store it or move it or ship it, it would be. Well, I don't want a misadventure, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
from 4 years.
You're not running any wiring down that tube, are you?
Oh yeah, well, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, then make sure you got enough slack in your wiring for when you pull it apart.
You know what? and I got that problem solved too, because let me pull this out. I got males and females. They got this. These are boys and girls.
Uh-huh. Is it smaller than your tube? When you put them together, do they fit inside the tube?
They don't need to. The larger tube, yes. The larger one, yes. And I'll have some slack inside the model so that it pulls out of the model, and then I can disconnect it.
That's all we have.
I just got to do it in a way that this doesn't fall inside the model. That's my fear. Yeah, I think in a smaller of the two tubes, it doesn't fit, but the larger one it does. Yeah, I do know that. I didn't even test it. I just knew instinctively that would be the case. So
these are the things that wired your engines.
What's that?
Never mind. I said, are these the same instincts that wired your engines?
Yes. And these are 3 leads, so I can actually have 2 separate circuits if I so wish. But this is the male inside the stand.
Those are great. Where'd you get those?
eBay.
Okay.
And these are oh shoot. These are the plugs that are in wireless phones, between the battery and the wireless phone.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're called. And let's see, did these go together? How do they go together?
I hope so.
I think they got a keyway, so you have to get the right way around. The keyway is to line up.
If not, you can wrap them in cellophane tape.
Okay. I don't know. They should be able to go together because they're.
If they're
I'm trying to put them together right now, and they're not going together. Holy hell!
That's something I would definitely make sure it works before you wire it in.
You know what? You're right. They're not working. Because I figured I'd use this when I do the Enterprise between the saucer section and the other sections and the nacelles, and I do these dangling out of them, and all I got to do is like plug them together and then glue the sub-assemblies together that way, and I'm set.
Well, you're speaking of eBay finds. I got to tell you, I found something the other week on eBay that I just went ahead and bought a bulk of, and they are used for surveillance cameras, but they're 9-volt transformers that are 1.5 amp. And I've started using it. I used them on the Raptor. The only thing about them is that the cord's a little short, but I got a bunch of them pretty darn cheap, and they are it's easy to find 9-volt transformers, but it's tough to find them that have enough amps on them.
Yeah, they work. I would just, this one is damaged. They got, what this is the males. The male, actually, this is the female, not even a male. Oh my gosh, these are transgendered plugs. I don't know how you would say this. The one side has little holes on the edge. I guess that would be the female.
Yeah.
And then it plugs into the male, which has these prongs sticking up inside it. And I guess the prongs are misaligned.
Oh, sometimes you can bend them so they can line up.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. But it works. Yeah,
Good.
It works. Okay. Anyway, enough of me. What do you think about me? I'm done. It's all going to work. I promise. Or at least I'm trying to convince myself. But this has been an awful. It's been this bad, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that life has gotten in the way, and it's continually getting in the way, and I'm really sad. It depresses me actually that my health is being affected, and it's just. I don't know. That's just a part of being in a hobby, I suppose, that you feel so strongly and passionate about, is that you want to do things and you come home from work and all you can think of doing is becoming a lump on the couch or just going to bed.
Join the club.
I don't know. You retired guys, next time you guys say you have no time, you can just stuff it, okay? You don't have any time. What are you talking about? That's all you got is time. So, and you're thinking right now, you just wait and see when you retire. You'll find out.
It feels time.
You know what? When I retire, they're going to find me dead in this room. And they're going to wonder how I got in here because it's going to be locked from the outside.
He's going to be super glued to his chair, mumbling incoherently. I should have used more resistors. I should have used more resistors.
I'll be in this white jacket like this. I should have used more resistors. I should have used more resistors. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, how you doing there, Mike?
Turn his microphone off. There you go.
Wow, you're sounding a little Larry.
We got no audio there, Mike.
This Mike without a mic.
He's miceless.
Yes.
Mike.
We're all channeling Randall. That's nice. Yeah. But just nod your head. Are you doing well? Are you good?
That's good. Semaphore, use flags.
Does anyone know sign language?
Well, there's only one thing I can say in sign language.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can only hear us, or you can't hear us. Oh, you can only hear us.
He hears us. We
Well,
can't hear him.
You know, on America's Got Talent, there was a woman who sang, and she was a beautiful singer, and she went deaf as an adult. So she can talk to you, but she can't hear you. So that's kind of like what we're right now. We're kind of like deaf to you, but we can talk to you.
You're deaf to me.
You're deaf to me. All right. Thanks for all. You know what? I got to get skedaddling. We had just killed an hour and 50.
Still got Dawn.
An hour and 50 minutes. Almost like. I think by the time we do wrap it up, it's going to be very close to 2 hours. But I think it's time to wrap it up. And thank you all. I'd like to thank Heath. And Heath, it's late at night in Australia. And I think the next Across the Pond is the last Across the Pond that will be on American Daylight Savings. It will be then. Okay, who we do?
I hear Mike.
That's Mike.
That's Mike. Now we hear you, Mike.
And everyone else.
No, there you go. A lot of feedback now. Okay. Anyway, I think in the next one, it's the last. So maybe Australia can be hanging with us for a little longer. We'll be in line with their time frame for the most part. Because daylight savings time is going to happen the weekend, and the next time we have Hangouts. But that's between Saturday and Sunday lunch. Whatever. I'm just jabbering. So I'd like to thank Keith for stopping by. Dave attempted, and Dave, sorry you could make it. I wanted to talk to you further about your Hoth X-Wing diorama, and that's turning out to be phenomenal. Check out his videos. He posts like a couple of videos a week on it, I believe, about this build, and it's just evolving into, you know what, I didn't think this guy, I don't know. This guy's imagination just goes on and on. It's like the ever-ready bunny, just keeps going on and on. And he just continually adds things, and he just continually makes this thing. It's almost like watching a rosebud opening in slow motion. It's that beautiful, and it's so interesting to watch. So check out DJ Model Works, Dave, and do his dioramas. Thank you for trying to stop by. And also all the members of the Amazing Scale Modeler community, both on Facebook and Google+. Oh boy, that Facebook community is just freaking awesome. You guys are just posting away at like nobody's business. There's a lot of car modelers, not that I'm complaining. Some of these cars are just extraordinary. And there seems to be a little popularity, little romance going on with the General Lee. And there's a guy that only does junkyard type builds. There's guys that do like custom builds and the like. And there's like 2,766 members and still growing. And on the Google Plus, we've had a bit of an increase, 2,379. So I think officially we're at 5,000. Of course, there's a lot of crossover between the two, but definitely the two camps are very different. Google Plus guys are very laid back, and on the Facebook community, they're just like, I don't know, they're just profusely posting, which is a lot of fun to watch because you can spend an hour away from Facebook, an hour later it's totally different. And thank you for everybody. That's just to say thank you for everybody who posts and builds models and keeps this hobby developing, evolving, and alive in this day of technology. I'd like to thank Bob also to having had stopped by, and I gave a plug to your employer. So if you haven't been watching, you may know who that is. I'm not going to say their word. But you know what? You get the T-shirts are like $7. Like, you can't beat that. Being a T-shirt and jeans guy, it's like the best. So as he takes a drag off of a cigarette, inhales, and then says,
Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that.
Thanks, Don, for stopping by too and showing us what your workbench looks like. That's actually pretty freaking awesome.
That's only one bench.
There's only one thing missing, and that's what's on your icon. You need a beer, an ale there too. Not that I'm encouraging you to drink. That'll just come later.
Coffee.
That's Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that'd be Thanksgiving. Thanks, Jim, for sharing your paper modeling. You're extraordinary in your own way, and thank you for doing all that. And Jamie?
Yeah, all right.
Still playing with his ship. Leave him alone.
What are you doing?
Go blind.
Are you behaving yourself over there?
Put it away.
Thanks for stopping by, and thank you there, Mr. Lou, for sharing your Raptor and all that stuff. Thank you. Watch his videos. Good stuff. And Mike, better late than never, I suppose.
On weekends, it's so hard for me to get up.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I slept then, and it was 5:30. Okay, and yeah. Yeah, thank you, Phil, for stopping by also. And Wayne, yes. Please don't run out of tanks. We enjoy watching your Gundam builds.
Yeah.
Oh. The tanks on legs. And just one more announcement. Yes, somebody brought it up. The Thanksgiving weekend, the American Thanksgiving, because a couple of weeks ago we celebrated a Canadian Thanksgiving, and the American Thanksgiving is Thursday, the 23rd of November. The following day, on the 24th, begins our 5th annual 48-hour Hangouts. I think this time I'll hold off drinking until the last half, not the first half, and maybe stay awake longer, because I plan on doing a lot of modeling that week because I'm off from work. So that will be at 8 a.m. Eastern is when it starts, and we'll tick off the count of the hours. Of course, we'll miss. We don't know how to count. And so join us then. It's not a broadcast hangout, but it's just a social hangout. And I hope to see all of you make the attempt. And, of course, I'll see these people. I mean, they're like, my friends, and I'll see them there too. And this is your host, Scratch and Jack, signing off on another Across the Pond Hangout. Tomorrow we'll have the Sunday Hangout. See you then, or see you in 2 weeks. Happy modeling, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.